white singlets, the inside out, the t-shirts. When did this start? How did it get going? And obviously there were some road bumps,
Yeah. So
speed bumps.
after our program was cut, our next duel was against West Virginia, which was probably about 10 days after the program was cut. And we came together as a team, and we kind of looked at like what Stanford did to keep their program, and the infamous all black singlet, and we're like, okay, like clearly that worked. Like it brought attention to the program, and it got people like going for keep Stanford wrestling. So we're like, okay, let's model that. Let's do that. So this was the athletes coming together to make this decision for our West Virginia duel. Obviously, we didn't have time to order singlets, but we were like, well, we can wear our singlets inside out. Like, and the point of that like wasn't to be disrespectful towards CBU, which is I think kind of how they viewed it. But it was more so to be like, hey, we don't feel supported by the school, and we want to bring awareness, and we want people to know that we're fighting for this movement, and we're fighting for our program. And so after we did that is when we got that written statement like, hey, you guys can't wear your singlets inside out anymore. Otherwise, you won't be able to compete. And like I said, we didn't know if that meant like, hey, we're not going to be able to compete, in a match, or if we won't be able to compete for the rest of the season. But our coach was given written guidance that he had to pull us off the mat if our singlets were inside out. And then if he didn't, he'd lose his job. So it's like, it's putting him in a
Yeah, his
tough
hands are
spot.
tied.
Yeah. And putting us in a tough spot too, because it's like, okay, we don't want to like come across as like, disrespectful to the school, but we do want our voices to be heard, and we want, people to know that we're fighting for this program. And so we wrote the athletic administration a letter, like kind of explaining why we did what we did, what the intent was to it. Got no response for that. So it's like we're making these decisions and trying to stand up for ourselves in respectful ways, and just hearing nothing in return, and only getting like shut down in return it's pretty frustrating.
So you had the inside out singlets. Then Coach Morris, or
Yeah.
you guys are all told can't do that anymore. Then what? Then you
Yep.
guys were like, all right, we'll just go get blank singlets.
Yeah, so we wrestled a lot of duels just with our CBU singlets, because at that point we were like, look, we just want to
Yeah.
wrestle. We're not gonna not wrestle because that's what we love to do, and we can keep spreading awareness by wrestling. And so we got these, keep CBU wrestling shirts. We were wearing those at our duels and for our warm ups, and we weren't told we couldn't wear them, so we kept wearing them. And for our last senior night duel, we got just blank white singlets. They had CBU like in small print at the leg, because I think by like NCAA guidelines, the school logo does have to be on the uniform. So we made sure it
Right.
followed that. And then Coach Moore obviously has to tell us that we can't wear them. But we were like, Coach, we're gonna wear them. And administration found out, and that's everything that video that was taken that I'm sure you've seen online. That was the conversation they were having with us like 10 minutes before the duel. Um, and so we decided again to just wear our singlets normal, because we love wrestling, we want to wrestle. But the blank white singlets were kind of supposed to be modeling what Stanford did with the blank black, but it was
Yeah.
only for that one.
Um, Looking back, do you wish you wouldn't have told Coach Moore you're going to do this and just showed up?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, we don't want to put him in a tough spot, right? We
Yeah,
want him
yeah, of
around for Big 12s and nationals, so we
course.
we don't want to get him fired.
No,
But
that's
he's been
fair.
nothing but
Um,
supportive to us. So
yeah. How did you feel? What do you like that video and that meeting where the administration came in and
yeah,
said, ultimatum? Okay, there's already emotions when you're getting ready
yeah,
to wrestle in a match, right? Nerves and
yeah,
whatever you like. There's physical feelings and emotions, and now you're already I don't know, just thinking of like the emotion of your last home duel, the emotion of not coming back next year, and then this conversation happens. Maybe just take me through your perspective and how it made you feel.
yeah. I mean, I felt kind of, I think shocked again is the right word. Like, didn't know what to say, because it felt like everything we were trying to say was being shut down. And I understand that our athletic director is just doing his job. But I think what was hurting most of us is like how we were being talked to. It wasn't like a adult to adult. adult to adult conversation. It kind of felt like we were like children being punished in a way. Like when our heavyweight was like midway through asking a question when he just got like cut off, and it was like he didn't even get to finish his question. Um, so I think a lot of us were really upset and just didn't know how to vocalize it. I think we did a really good job as a team, like staying calm in the moment, and showing restraint in that way. We have a lot of mature individuals on this team, and I think that is a testament to our coaching staff and just how the way we do things here. Um, but it was hurtful because it's like we're representing a Christian university, and I'm a Christian, and those are values I strongly believe in, and it didn't feel like those values were being upheld. And so, like the mission of CBU is like make disciples of all nations. Have people live their purpose, and it feels like that mission statement isn't being fulfilled with the fact that they're cutting the program, and B, the way they're doing it. Um, and I think that's hurtful to a lot of us, and we don't really know how to react sometimes because, like we said, that voice in the video that was like, "We just want to have a voice," that was Cooper Shore again, and I think he summed it up perfectly. Like, we just want to have a voice. We want to be heard. We want to do what we can to save this program, and you're not letting us even like self fundraise to do that, which doesn't make sense to me. So I think it was just a lot of shock and a lot of hurt in the moment.
I can only imagine. Do you know if you or do you think or know that was anybody else? Do you know if anybody could seriously consider? Everybody wrestled, right? But did anybody
Yeah,
think about or consider being like, "F it, fine, I won't wrestle"?
yeah,
Not that I
absolutely.
necessarily completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had 5 minutes to discuss it as a team, and a lot of the guys in the team were like, "Man, I just want to wear this white singlet, and what happens happens." But at the end of the day, we had some guys that just really wanted to wrestle, and we didn't want to take away their opportunity by walking out in a white singlet and them just calling the duel. So the guys that wanted to wear the white, we just decided, hey, we're going to support the guys that want to wrestle, and we're going to let them wrestle. So I think that goes back to like that brotherhood aspect I was talking about. We have guys on the team that they just really they love wrestling and they want to wrestle no matter what. And the guys that wanted to wear the white singlets, decided like, hey, we're going to support our guys that want to wrestle and give them the chance to wrestle. So,
That's cool.
but
That
yeah, it
that
was definitely ran through everybody's heads, I'd say.
what how, I mean, without giving me, I don't know, details if you want, but like, yeah, give me what was that 5 minutes conversation like with you guys?
Yeah, it was hard. We were kind of talking through the pros and cons of changing and not changing. I don't think we saw coming that they wouldn't let us wear the CBU shirts anymore, which happened after the duel. Um, but it was kind of everybody that was going to wrestle just kind of took turns saying how they felt about it, what they wanted to do. Um, and ultimately we decided to wrestle because there was a big crowd there, and we were like, these people are here to support us, and we want to put on a show for them. And I think it kind of, it added fuel to the fire. We showed out at that duel. I think everybody wrestled really well. Kind of took out the frustration out on the mat, is one way to put it. And I think that was the biggest theme we talked about. Was like, hey, this is happening, um, but let's focus on the task at hand, and let's go practice our craft and put on a show for the people that are here, and just use this as motivation.
Yeah, and kudos to you guys for sticking around. Like you said, the packed gym and people wanted to see us, and the fact that you went out and wrestled really well. Like, good for you guys. I'm glad you had that opportunity, that moment to kind of to do that at the last home duel. Um, so when did they come back and say no, no, keep CBU wrestling T-shirts or sweats? Like, but before they
Yeah.
said that's okay, or maybe didn't have an opinion on it, right?
Yeah, so the duel's on a Saturday. We got that guidance on a Tuesday, and nothing that we've been told has been like a face-to-face interaction. It's all been Coach Moore gets called into a meeting. They issue him a written statement. He has to read it back to us. So that Tuesday was when he came back and was like, the school has decided you guys can't wear the Keep CBU Wrestling shirts, hoodies, or sweatpants when you're traveling or competing. We can't engage with the crowd in any way to promote CBU Wrestling. So, like, we've been holding up the shirts after we win to kind of get the crowd going, like, yeah, keep CBU Wrestling. And so we can't do any of that anymore. And they're sending like 4 administrators to Big 12s with us to make sure we don't. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Like in that meeting we had, they said when Cooper said we want to have a voice, they responded with, "We're letting you have a voice. You know, you have the shirts," which is okay, fair point, I guess. But now you're taking that away. Like it really does feel like we're being silenced. And like I said, they haven't had a seat with any alumni, the coaches, us, even though we've asked for it to like talk through potential solutions. They've cited like fundraising and Title IX as options, but little inside scoop here when it comes to Title IX, they're cutting the men's swim and dive team, but the women's dive team, their coaches' contracts expire this year, and they're not renewing them. So they're not bringing that team back either, even though they're not like cutting it like publicly. They're just not bringing back the team because they're not renewing the coaches' contract. So I've talked to some divers to get that information, and so it just feels like they're like hiding stuff, or there's some like shady stuff going on in the background, and it's like, well, I mean, my question to the CBU's admin is like, why won't you let us sit and talk through this? Why aren't you being transparent? And like our alumni want to have a conversation. Like we're not trying to fight the school. We just want to have a conversation. We want to try to work through potential solutions. And the reasoning, like if it's funding, let us fundraise. Give us time to fundraise. You know, extend. You know, let the young guys on the team finish their careers here and give us time to fundraise in that time. And if it's Title IX, why is women's dive being getting rid of? Like that doesn't make sense, you know.